Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. So this video is going to be on Whiteboard absolute basics. I'm going to go really back to the beginning of Whiteboard, and it's actually a response to a user comment on one of my other videos, which at the time of this filming is by far and away my most popular video. It's on Whiteboard basics. But one of the users commented, a user by the name of May2888, and they were saying that I was a little bit too quick in that video, and I assumed a bit too much about the level of skill in there. So this video is going to be even a more basic video where I'm going to show you the very basics of Microsoft Whiteboard. I'm going to show you the difference between the online version and the download and install version. I'll show you how to download and install it, and I'll go through some of the features in a much more prescriptive way, in a way where I'm talking about absolutely everything that I'm clicking and everything that I'm doing. So if you've worked with Microsoft Teams or if you've worked with the Microsoft Whiteboard before, this video might be a little bit too basic for you. And if you've never worked with Microsoft Teams or a whiteboard before, hopefully this one will get you up to speed and get you to start using that. That being said, I do make a couple of assumptions here. Things, for example, that you know how to download and install a program onto your computer. You know how to search for specific things on the internet. And although I will go through a lot of those steps, I'm not going to be super detailed on those steps. I'll try to slow down how fast I speak. That's hard for me to do, but I'll give it a shot. But I'm going to go through. Remember, you can always pause the video and replay sections of the video as well. And you can also comment down below if there's anything that you do need clarification on, if there's one step that you just didn't understand. So hopefully you find this video useful. If you've gone if you're just beginning your whiteboard journey, it's a super useful tool, but there's a learning curve like anything. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, everybody, so I wanted to talk about the Microsoft Whiteboard, and in this video, I'm going to go a little bit back and just talk about the whiteboard itself, what it is, and the way that we can get the whiteboard and start using the whiteboard. So in other videos that I've created, I show you how to share the whiteboard using Microsoft Teams, and I show you how to work with the whiteboard using a tablet or an iPad. I'm not going to cover that in this video. This video is just the basics of the whiteboard and is really in response to a comment that I received by someone who was saying that they needed a little bit more basic information. So first of all, where do we get the Microsoft Whiteboard? Well, it's part of your Microsoft account. So if you go into whiteboard.microsoft.com, this will actually bring you to the online whiteboard where you can create whiteboards online. What's neat about this is, first of all, it's logged me in automatically into my Office 365 account. If you have an Office 365 account that you're logged into, you will receive the exact same sort of screen that I have. You'll go in, your name will be in the top corner up here, you'll have your name, and you'll have the whiteboard application running. If you don't have an Office 365 account, I'd recommend getting one. Get a Microsoft account. They're very inexpensive. Some of them are free, but then you'll have to log in. So you may, instead of getting this screen, you may get a screen that says log in, and you log into your account. If you don't have an account, one of the options there is create a Microsoft account. So here I am in the Microsoft Whiteboard application. This is online. I did not need to install anything on my computer. I can simply start creating and working with whiteboards. They will be stored to my account in my OneDrive, and I can see all the whiteboards that I have here on my screen. If I click Create New Whiteboard, this gives me a blank whiteboard, and I get a selection of pens that I can use and an eraser. I can also go to this whiteboard here, and I can click the button up here where I can share this whiteboard and provide others an opportunity to come in and see and participate on this whiteboard. I'm not going to show you that feature. I'm just going to talk about the whiteboard itself. So notice right now I have a black pen and I draw a circle. I have a red pen and I draw a triangle. I have a green pen and I'll draw a square. I'm using my mouse in order to draw. So I'm just using my mouse to move around, and I'm pressing the button down in order to draw that shape. So I click the pen, I go to the area of the whiteboard that I'm interested in drawing, and I hold my mouse button down and draw the shape. Now the problem here is, this is great, this is useful, but the problem here is it's not as robust when it comes to the features that I want to use in order to be able to communicate with my students. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and click this button here that says Open in the Whiteboard app. Now I've downloaded and installed the Whiteboard app onto my computer. So when I click this button, it will launch that application, and I will have a more feature-rich a whiteboard with more options in it. And I'm going to show you some of those options. If you haven't downloaded and installed the whiteboard, you'd be able to go here and you have the option to install the app on your local computer, which I recommend. One of the advantages of installing that application on your computer is that you can then run that application on your computer, take a tool such as Microsoft Teams, use the screen sharing feature to share the screen of your local computer that's running the whiteboard. I show you how to do that in a different video, so I'm not going to show you how to do that here. But if you're confused on how to do that, let me know, and I can do a video on simple sharing. But right now what I'm going to do is open in the app. When I open in the app, this launches that whiteboard application that I have installed on my computer. So it's opening it up. Notice circle, triangle, square, circle. It's the same whiteboard that I have online. So I'm just going to bring the app into the front again. Now here I get many more features. First of all, I have a menu at the bottom here. This is a menu that allows me to insert an image, allows me to add a note, or do a whole bunch of different document insertions, picture insertions, whatever I want. And I'll go through that. It also gives me this button here, which switches to the inking mode, which you can refer to as the drawing mode. Up here, again, I can invite somebody to be part of this whiteboard. I'm not going to invite anyone, but it would be people from my organization. I can invite them to be part of this whiteboard. That will allow them to view the whiteboard and to participate in drawing on that whiteboard. I also get this 3 lines here, which is my settings menu. This is a very useful menu, and it gives me more settings than the online environment. Let's begin with the bottom menu, and then we'll come back to settings. So underneath the bottom menu, let's first of all go into the inking mode by clicking this pen. I'm now in inking mode. Notice I have many more colors of pens. I have a highlighter, an eraser, a ruler, and a lasso. Undo and redo. Okay. If I want to change the color of a pen, if these colors aren't good for me, I can go in, I can click, hold, and let go. So click, hold, and let go, and I can change to a different color of pen, including a rainbow pen and a star pen, I guess, gold and silver. I can change the thickness of the pen. So here's where I can control that pen. Let's say, for example, I want to have a dark blue or a light blue pen, or green. I chose green because I like a green pen. But say I want a pink pen. Now my pen is pink, and when I draw, it'll be pink. If I click, hold, and let go, I can make it a thinner pen. Click, hold, let go. I can make it a very thick pen, so I can change the thickness. If I'm using an appropriate tablet, like an iPad or a Wacom tablet, there is in those devices a pressure sensitive tool, but that's beyond the scope of this particular video. So here I can change the thickness in sort of a manual way, and I tend to like the bottom, this one here, the second to bottom one. I don't know, that thickness seems to work best for me. Okay, everybody will have their own preferences. I can also go into my eraser, and I can erase anything that I have in here. And with the eraser, depending on how artistic you want to get, you can click, hold, and let go of the eraser, and you can actually go ahead and clear the entire canvas, which gives me a blank slate. Okay, so that's a great way to clear the entire canvas. So that's my pens, my eraser, highlighter, and such. I'm going to go out of inking mode by clicking the little button here that says Done Inking, and I'm back to this menu. Let's add an image. If I click to add an image, it'll go to my Pictures folder, and if I choose an image, so I'll just choose this image here, I get the image onto my canvas. If I select that image, I can make it larger, and I also have a menu here where I can do things like copy the image, delete the image, do an ink grab of the image, like the image, and lock it to the background. Okay, there are also more options available here where I can create an alt text, which is good for accessibility, or I can cut the image. I'm not going to go into every one of these menu items, but just be aware that this menu is related to this image. Okay, so now I have the image here, made it a little bit bigger. I could then put a note. So I could type a note on here saying this is the West Coast Trail. And if, in fact, I think this is Owen Point on the West Coast Trail of Vancouver Island. So now I have a little a little note here. I can twist that note around, make it bigger, smaller. I can move it by grabbing this little circle at the bottom. Again, I can change things like the color of the note. So I can say, okay, I want that to be a blue background, and I can put that on there. So you get some options there as well. So that was using my image and my note options. I can now insert many, many other things in here. So for example, I can insert a sticker. So let's say, for example, I want to put a planet here. Let's put something like, we'll put, this is Mars or the Moon? I think Mars. So if we go in here, I can say, oh, Mars is up there. Now, obviously, it's pretty fake, but there's Mars in the sky above the West Coast Trail. Okay, kind of a funny little thing that I put in there, but I can easily do that. I find that the stickers are somewhat limited, but what I find very useful are the Bing images. So for example, if I want to do a Bing image, maybe I want to do a search here, and I want to type in West Coast water taxi, right? And you can see here that maybe I can put in an image of a West Coast water taxi. This isn't really a very good image because it's not anywhere near where this hike is, but the idea is that it was easy for me to grab an image. Okay, if I want to go in here, maybe I'll grab another Bing image and I'll say, you know, a backpack, right? So we're doing a backpack. So I type in Bing image, I type in backpack, and then I can choose, you know, I don't know, just, you can get lost in the images here. These aren't really great backpacks. I don't know what's going on there. So I'm going to go in here, hiking. So we'll try to make it a little bit more hiking related. There we go. So there's a backpack. I'll throw that in there. Again, not coastal, but, you know, I can throw that in there. So you get the idea. And by the way, this image is separate. It doesn't have to be, these images don't have to be within the larger image. Neither does the note, right? So you can move those around. So you can also insert a PDF document. I had that question previously. Somebody asked about the PDF document. I can insert that in there. Word document, PowerPoint, all sorts of cool stuff. Let's have a look at this settings menu, and then I'll wrap up this video. So underneath settings, notice it has ink to shape, ink to table, and object snapping. Well, if I draw something, so I'll grab my pen, and I'll grab a blue pen, and I'll draw a triangle. Notice how it's snapped into a nice triangle. That's because my ink to shape is turned on. And if I was to grab like an orange pen here and draw a circle, notice what happens. Boom, it draws a nice circle. One of the really handy features here is that I can do, let's grab blue, or let's grab black. Let's say I want to grab and create a table. I can draw a rectangle here, snap to shape, draw a line between them, and now notice I can actually create a nice little table here that I can then draw inside of, right? Or I can put a note inside there, whatever I'd like to do, right? You can put images in there, so I can actually put, you know, put an image in there, whatever I'd like to do. But there I created a nice table that I can then put onto my whiteboard. So I hope this video was helpful in showing you how really you want to download the whiteboard application. You get a much deeper set of features that you can use, more pens, ability to bring in different documents, and it's fairly robust. So that's what I would recommend. To get this application, go to whiteboard.microsoft.com, log in using your account, and then either get the app, or if you have it installed already, open in the app, and you will then be able to go, instead of working with it here, you'll notice it transferred over to the OnCloud one, but go here and you can see that this gives me the ability to work with my settings menu. This gives me the ability to do more inking. This gives me the ability to do a lot of insertions, a lot of cool stuff that I can do. If you have any questions, or if there was anything that wasn't clear to you, please let me know in the comments. If you did like the video, please hit like, because that helps the algorithm for YouTube so other people can find this resource. And if you find the videos as a whole useful, please consider subscribing, because that also helps people find it the more subscribers and likes I have. Basically, that's how YouTube works. Okay, thank you so much.